Look around you right now. The world has been plunged into one of the darkest phases. Muslims are being cornered like never before. And even in these turbulent times, Muslims are busy quarreling among themselves. The Sunnis say that they won't support the Shias even when our enemy is the same. The Shias say they are enough for themselves and don't want Sunni support at all. The sectarian differences and the resulting rivalry are simply pathetic. Even when we can see with our own eyes that our differences are making the enemy strong, we still don't care about it. So let us today try to address the root cause behind this sectarian difference. Let us understand who started all of this and why this was the greatest masterstroke that the enemy could ever make until the arrival of Isa, alayhi salam. There was a man whose name was rarely spoken without controversy. A man, some historians claim, planted the seeds of one of the greatest divisions in Islamic history. His name was Abdullah Ibn Saba. But who was he really? A hidden enemy? A political agitator? Or is it a figure whose story was later exaggerated? We go back to the time of Uthman ibn Affan, radiallahu anhu, a time when the Muslim Ummah was expanding rapidly, but internally, cracks had begun to appear. Discontent, political disagreements, and whispers of rebellion. It was in this climate that discontent was already growing. A man, originally Jewish and said to be from Yemen, who outwardly accepted Islam, used this very discontent as a tool to spread fitnah and fasad. This man, Ibn Saba, began traveling across Muslim lands, spreading lies that had never been heard before and manipulating the masses against Uthman, radiallahu anhu, filling their hearts with hatred towards him. His regions of influence were mainly in Kufa, Egypt, and Basra. And why was he able to manipulate the masses of these areas? Because these lands were conquered not very long ago. Residents of these lands weren't much acquainted with the personality of Uthman, radiallahu anhu. It was because of his spreading of lies and constant manipulation that civilians of these very areas rebelled against the caliphate of Uthman, radiallahu anhu. And later, this rebellion turned fatal for Uthman, radiallahu anhu. He wasn't only trying to frame Uthman, radiallahu anhu, and make Muslims against him. He was also trying slowly and steadily to introduce concepts in Islam that were not there. In short, he wanted the Muslims to go astray. He reportedly claimed that Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, was not just a companion or just a leader, but someone with a special, almost divine status. It was he who started manipulating the masses that Ali, radiallahu anhu, deserved to be the first caliph, and that the most trusted friend of Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, was Ali, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and therefore there is no way that any other man should have succeeded him in the Khilafah. And his manipulation didn't stop there. Slowly and slowly he also started filling the minds of Muslims that Ali, radiallahu anhu, is not an ordinary Sahabi. He was going to be the last prophet of Allah, but it was Jibril, alayhi salam, who got confused between Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and Ali, radiallahu anhu, and that is why, mistakenly, he gave the honor of prophethood to Muhammad, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It is also reported that when he saw that Muslims were getting manipulated by his claims, he finally went ahead and claimed that Ali, radiallahu anhu, is an avatar of Allah himself. Na'uzu billah! Don't these claims seem familiar? Doesn't the Nu'asairi sect of Shia also believe this? Doesn't the main point of difference between Shia and Sunni regard the caliphate? At first, not many challenged him, as it sounded like love. But was it really love, or was it something far more dangerous? Because these concepts were actually bid'ah, which, when believed, will take one out of the folds of Islam. When Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, later became caliph, he was confronted with people who had taken this love too far. Some even attributed divine qualities to him, as they were brainwashed by the ideas of Ibn Saba. And what did Ali radiallahu anhu do? He strongly rejected it. According to narrations, Ali radiallahu anhu ordered Ibn Saba to be incinerated alive so as to put an end to his nonsensical beliefs and lies. But the damage had already been done. Ibn Saba is often attributed to being the founder of Shi'ism. Shia scholars refute this claim, but Sunni scholars assert that Ibn Saba played a major role in the creation of Shia Islam. And look, where are we now? Even today, the Muslim Ummah isn't able to unite. This fitnah that Ibn Saba planted several hundred years ago is still working perfectly, as Muslims still continue to fall for his tricks. Remember, enemies were never able to defeat the Muslims when they were one. Adversaries always had and always will defeat the Muslims by sowing discord and making them fight amongst themselves. This is a lesson that the greatest dangers to any community don't always come from outside. Sometimes they come disguised as love, loyalty, or even religion itself. When love crosses its limits, it becomes distortion. When difference is not handled with wisdom, it becomes division. And when truth is mixed with falsehood, fitnah is born. History is a mirror, and the question is not just, who was Ibn Saba, but are we repeating the same mistakes? That's all for today. If you found the video informative, please like it and subscribe to the channel. Jazakum Allahu khairan.